welcome to my channel or back to my channel. This is going to be a mood reading vlog and just like an autumnal reading vlog because I'm very much trying to romanticize autumn. We are going to be reading, I'm hoping, 2 books in this vlog, and you would have seen, I think, that I have started Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I am actually, I think, 200 pages in. Yeah, 211 pages in. I was reading it on my Kindle and I've switched to the physical copy. Been really enjoying it actually. I knew that I would like it because it was really like hyped up last year and everyone really enjoyed it. I have been liking it. I feel like the beginning I was a bit unsure on it because it felt a little bit too young adult, and I'm definitely starting to shift out of that genre. It has definitely gone past that now, especially where I'm up to the last chapter I read. It's beyond young adult at this point. So I have liked it more now that we've gotten the trials. I also really sorry, I've kind of just jumped into this, but I just want to talk about it. I've also really liked the trials being like based off of I'm guessing the 7 deadly sins, because we just had last, I don't know what the first one was, but I'm presuming that's how it's going to go. That was definitely an interesting trial. I'm very intrigued to see what's next because I am now on night 4 of Phantasma, so I think we'll be having another trial kind of soon. Been really liking it. I quite like Ophelia as a character because she's kind of unique. I feel like I haven't really read characters like her before. I feel like I've already got some theories going with this one, and this is obviously spoiler free, so I'm going to quickly talk about them, hopefully like 20 seconds, so just skip 20 or 30 seconds. My first theory is about Blackwell. I'm thinking at this point that maybe he won Phantasma at some point, and his like wish to the devils was to become immortal, and because they're devils they obviously like twisted it a bit and he became immortal, but he was then stuck in Phantasma. And then the other thing is to do with Genevieve, Ophelia's sister. I'm guessing she's not in Phantasma, and maybe the guy, I think his name was Harry or Fen Harry, something like that, has left that note for Ophelia instead of it being Genevieve. That's my guess for that. Really enjoying this. I'm gonna go back to reading Phantasma. Okay guys, so I feel like I definitely need to talk to you guys about Phantasma because I read a decent amount yesterday and last night and this morning. I'm up to, I think, almost page 400. What am I exactly up to? Yeah, 400. I read about, I think, like, honestly, 150-ish pages yesterday. So quite a lot. I feel like I've got so much more into it. I think the beginning I was just getting a bit like, used to the setting because it's definitely different to anything I've read before, and there's a lot of like obviously supernatural stuff going on, and it's a little bit difficult to remember all the differences between the different like supernatural beings, but I feel like I've kind of got there now. And yeah, this is so good. I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't too sure at the beginning, as I just said, but as soon as I got to about 150 pages in, I've been locked in. Like I can't stop reading it. I haven't felt like this about a book in a long time where I just want to keep reading. Like this has definitely made me want to read and like reignited that love for reading that I feel like I've been missing for quite a while now, to be honest. I'm definitely getting like sort of young adult, like I guess you would call it new adult vibes. It's not, but it still has like a really quick pace, like simple kind of thing going on with it. And I would say if you've read Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter, it's that kind of book where it's not young adult but it feels young adult. So if you like that book, you would definitely enjoy this series. I also find Blackwell, who is the male love interest, just like that's my favorite kind of love interest in a book, so I've just been loving that. I feel like Ophelia, I am really liking her, but the chapter I ended on last night, which was chapter 39, I hated that chapter. Like, I literally wanted to throw my book across the room. I hated it so much. I get it because, like, that was, a demon or a devil. I can't remember. So, like, it's meant to be, like, going down the wrong path. You kind of get swept in with that kind of thing. But, like, I actually hated reading that. Like, I literally could have been sick, which is maybe a bit dramatic, but, like, I felt sick. It was a horrible chapter. And I say that and like I'm being very dramatic, but I just really did not like it. Like, it just felt so wrong. I just wanted to erase it from my memory, to be honest. So that's kind of why I'm not really loving Ophelia at the moment because of that chapter, but I still really like her. Like, she's a very good female lead, I guess. I also kind of like I think it's demons, not devils. I like them. Like, I obviously don't trust them, and like some of them are not, like, they're not good people, they're not people, they're demons, but they're kind of entertaining. And like, I think it's Jasper, I like him. Like, he seems like a cool demon. I was gonna say cool guy, but he's not a guy. I quite like him. He's like a little bit of a comedic relief kind of character. I feel like I'm liking it. I'm liking that side of it definitely more than the actual trials and like the people that are in the trials with Ophelia. But yeah, I honestly just wanted to do this update because I might finish this book today. I think there's a chance I will. I am working today, which is so depressing. I'm back to work after being away, so I'm not sure if I'll finish it today, but I'm definitely aiming to finish it over the next couple of days. So really, really enjoying it. I thought I'd give a bit of an update because I just realised I did not update you after I finished Phantasma, and I have already started the next book, which was Falling Like Leaves. I loved Phantasma so much. I ended up rating up 5 stars, which I definitely would have thought it was more of like a 4 when I first started reading it, but I ended up just really, really enjoying it. And as I think I said, it very much felt like a young adult in the way that everything was happening so quickly, and like it wasn't very hard to understand really, but then it obviously had the more mature themes going on in it as well. So it's not young adult, but it felt young adult. Also, one of the YouTubers I watch, which is Sophia and Cinzia, I've been watching them for like the whole time that they've been around. Sophia is really into reading now, and she has a book club on Fable that I'm a part of, and they chose Phantasma. So I've been like looking at all the chapters and everyone's talking about it. And yeah, so I did have some like thoughts on what might happen, but only from the girls on there who are like making little theories. So the ending wasn't like a complete shock to me, but I definitely didn't think of it myself. My theory that I made, both of my theories, were completely wrong. I do feel like there's something about Genevieve that I don't know if it's just because her character is not very fleshed out, but I just felt like a bit on edge around her, and I'm pretty sure the next book's about her, so I really want to read that, by the way. But she's obviously not a bad character, but she just felt like a bit suspicious. I don't know why, but I don't think she is. But that definitely made me feel not as like attached to their like sibling relationship. I just really loved Blackwell, and I did really like Ophelia as well. As I said, she was like a great balance of what you want in a female main character in a fantasy. I really, really liked it, and I really liked just all the trials. I'm very much a fan of trials in books, so I really enjoyed that aspect. I just feel like I really enjoyed it. Like, as I said, it just made me want to keep reading. It's really put me in a reading mood, and from that I'm going to go to Falling Like Leaves because this is obviously a young adult romance, and I'm kind of veering away from them as I get older. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be like completely into it, especially because I loved Phantasma so much. But I've been really, really liking it, and I think I'm about 150 pages in at this point because I read a bit on my lunch break. And yeah, I'm really liking it. I feel like the main character, she has enough issues outside of, or she has enough about her outside of this relationship that's building. This guy is Cooper. I really like him as a character, and I feel like he's quite realistic for what he is, if that makes sense. And yeah, all the characters that we're meeting like in this town, Bramble Falls, I feel like are quite realistic. Obviously, I don't know what it's like to live in a small town or to live in a small town in Connecticut, but I obviously went there recently, and I actually went to a town that was a bit more like this, where it was like a bit more autumn, like they celebrate autumn. But yeah, really enjoying it. I'm so surprised. I don't think it's a book that I'd recommend to everyone because it still does feel quite young adult, but I feel like it's just a good book for me right now, especially because I've just been in New York and Connecticut. But it's very autumnal. We've had quite a few Taylor Swift references, we've had Pumpkin Spice Latte references. I've just really been liking it, and I honestly think I could finish it in the next day or two, which is really good, especially because I'm so behind my reading goal. I honestly will probably end this video after reading this, but I'm highly considering reading Enchantra. Okay guys, so I have now finished Falling Like Leaves and I'm going to wrap up this video now. I really enjoyed these two books so much and they were perfect for this time of year. I feel like they definitely put me more in the mood. So I want to talk about them and I'm hoping this video goes out sort of mid-October, so maybe some of you guys might choose to read these books as well at this time of year. But yeah, this was such a good reading vlog for me. I don't know if it's going to be that entertaining, but I feel like these were just two really good books for this time of year and just in general. I really enjoyed both of them. I've obviously talked about Phantasma already, so I will talk more about Falling Like Leaves now and then I'll do just a little wrap up. I finished it a couple of days ago now actually at this point, but I read it in 2 days. I loved it so much. I feel like it's definitely one of those books where maybe if it wasn't an autumnal book it might not have been as good, but I still really liked it and I still feel like the romance was very much light-hearted, even though there was some more emotional parts to it, and I feel like they had a good connection, so I enjoyed that. I also really liked all the side characters. It just seemed very realistic to an extent and just wholesome, very small town. I do honestly wish I read this whilst I was in Connecticut because I feel like looking back I can definitely picture this kind of setting, so that's nice, but I feel like if I had read it there it would have just amped up the experience a bit more. I loved all the autumnal events that they were planning and they were taking part in. I really loved that and honestly it gave me inspiration. I mean, not now, but maybe in the future if I ever have a family I can do these kind of autumnal things that they were all doing. It was just so cute. I also loved that they both had very creative passions. It was very much about creative passions, I feel because the mum also has quite a creative passion. So I really like that and emphasizing on just do what you love in life. So I really like that, and I really like that Cooper worked in this cafe slash bakery. I obviously have worked in a cafe before, so I liked that aspect of it, but also it was just really cute because of what he does. I'm keeping this spoiler free, but the stuff to do with the cafe that he does is just so cute and it was very much my love language, what he was doing. So I really like that. I feel like at some points Ellis was a bit frustrating, but I feel like it was very accurate to the life that she had lived before in New York. And I feel like when you live in a city like that, and also when you have a parent that's that big, I guess, you kind of have to harden up a bit and maybe not choose yourself in some situations, which is definitely what she did. And I feel like she didn't really think, she just did what she thought was best for what she's always planned kind of thing, and that was annoying, but I feel like it's part of the book and it worked out in the end. So there's also another relationship, I guess you could say, that's building with Ellis and someone else in the book, and I thought that was cute. I didn't think of it in a romantic sense, but it just was cute, and I also feel like that character is very much a comedic relief kind of thing, and I feel like that's a good thing to have in a book like this. I also have a red mark on my forehead. I don't know where that's come from, but please ignore that. Also just really love the book because I obviously got it in America and it's so floppy. I love these kind of books. I don't know why we don't do it like this in the UK. It just makes it so much easier to read. You can just put it on your lap and read, even if you're on public transport or something, you can just leave it on your lap. It's so much better. I've also obviously got sprayed edges, but I have, hopefully you can see, done quite a few tabs because I've found it really cute. I feel like it's my favorite kind of trope where it's second chance, friends to lovers kind of vibe. It's not quite that, but it is kind of that vibe. It's very much my kind of book, and it was young adult, but it was very much, it didn't feel too young adult. Obviously they're in high school, so that aspect of it is quite young adult. It just felt very light-hearted and honestly relatable in a way. It's kind of coming of age where you can relate to some aspect of it. Whenever I watch a coming of age movie it kind of makes me a bit emotional in a sense that that's gone, you know what I mean? And that kind of was what this book felt like. Obviously I don't relate to it because I've never experienced this or this kind of autumnal town, but I have experienced being a friend group in high school and the relationships that you have in high school. I just kind of like that, and it was young adult and it was also very fast paced. Obviously I read it in 2 days. I feel like that's all I need to say, to be honest. I want to kind of talk about what I've tabbed, but I don't even know what I have tabbed. I just found it so cute. I feel like it was honestly, it was like a Emily Henry romance, kind of. This is old, but it was kind of like an Emily Henry romance, but young adult. So obviously it wasn't as deep or anything like that, but it had the potential to be, I guess, if it wasn't a young adult. So I just really liked it, and it also had a lot of Taylor Swift references, which I really liked. I think I did talk about that a little bit. I probably wouldn't recommend it to anyone that's very picky with their romance and maybe doesn't really enjoy young adult, but if you're not that picky, I feel like it's not too young adult. I think you'll probably enjoy it, and also just for the autumnal vibes, it's heavy on that, but like in a very good cozy way. I rated it a 4.25 stars. So I feel like that's pretty high for me for a young adult romance. So 4.25. And then obviously Phantasma, which I think I did tell you I rated a 5 star. I really enjoyed this. I feel like it's kind of similar to Falling Like Leaves in a way. It was kind of young adult, but this one definitely isn't young adult. Just putting that out there, but it felt very young adult. It was very quick paced again. I feel like the characters were a little bit like juvenile in a way. They weren't in high school or anything. They were definitely like in the early 20s, I think. It still had kind of a juvenile feel to it, but in the best way, like not in a bad way at all. And again, not a young adult. And then obviously we're also talking about like devils and stuff like that, which is maybe not very young adult in a way, and like the seven deadly sins, that kind of thing. I just really liked it, and it was so good for this time of year. Everyone says it, but it really is, because it's just very like spooky kind of Halloween vibe. You could definitely picture it as well, which I love in a book, because as I think I've said before, I'm not actually able to picture things in my mind, but being able to imagine it, I guess, is a plus for me because I can't picture it. So I really liked that aspect of it. I feel like the world was a little bit confusing at first, but it very much made sense as you went along, and I think it was very clever what the whole world kind of is in this book. And yeah, definitely just a lot of words that maybe takes a bit of time to like differentiate between everything, but they're all words that you've heard before probably, but they're just maybe a bit different in this book, I guess. And yeah, that was probably the hardest part of the book to understand, but it does make sense as you go through the book. I obviously really liked the romance in this book. I found both characters really enjoyable to read separately, and then obviously their scenes together were really good. They had really good chemistry. Also, just like when they met for the first time, and like looking back at that, it was really cute just considering the situation. But I would say overall it's not a cute book. It's very much like chemistry book. That doesn't sound right because it's not chemistry book, but like I wouldn't say it was cute, but I also really enjoyed their romance. There was obviously one scene in this book that I honestly absolutely hated, and I'm sure everyone hated it when they read it, but like it really gave me like, is it called like a visceral reaction? I don't know if that's the word, but it just really like, I hated that scene so much. So I feel like it didn't need to go that far. Like it could have just been what it was at the beginning. It didn't need to go so far. And honestly, I don't know how that was forgiven. And we kind of just pretended it didn't happen, which is exactly what I was doing. So yeah, definitely enjoyed this one. I didn't really see the ending coming. I obviously had my own kind of theories. I definitely recommend, again, not young adult, but very much feels young adult in the way that it's very fast paced and fun, but also not fun at the same time. So yeah, I definitely recommend both of these books, especially for this time of year. I feel like you could probably read Phantasma sort of going into winter, but I do feel like it suits this time of year just because of the like devil and like New Orleans kind of magic thing going on in this book. And then obviously Falling Like Leaves is very much an autumnal book. There's lots of autumnal events, as I said, and it's very much like it's giving Stars Hollow kind of thing. I don't think you'd want to read it any other time of year, and I do feel like reading it at this time of year probably makes the reading experience better. But yeah, really enjoyed both of these. I really enjoyed doing this mood reading vlog because these were two really good books. They were definitely good for this time of year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys maybe will read both of these. I've honestly not felt as like passionately about a book in a while with both of these. They've both made me want to read more, but also I feel like these are two books I really do just recommend you reading at this time of year. So hopefully maybe you'll take my advice and hopefully you'll enjoy them if you do. But also hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.